want you to get into the faces of ICE agents and resist them. That is what Tim Walz has been repeating consistently for the past week. And now a second person has died because of what Tim Walz told them to go do. Then he has the audacity to hold a live press conference today and say that Minnesota has enough resources to resist ICE. If that was the case, then why is he trying to rile up his citizens to do the job that he says he has resources to do? And if you are someone who supports the way that these protests are being conducted in Minnesota, I have some genuine questions that I would like to ask you because I would love to know the answer. Like, for instance, if you're one of the people that believes that it is your civic duty to use your privilege and go out and participate in these types of protests, do you genuinely feel like that is the best use of your privilege? And if you're one of the people that thinks that they're just standing up for their neighbors and their community by doing this, are you actually standing up for your neighbors if you are allowing criminals to stay in your neighborhoods? Do you just not believe it or choose to ignore it when you see the mugshots and the list of charges that these people have been charged with? And it seems recently that a lot of you have thrown away the whole ban guns argument and are very pro 2A now. So if that's the case, then are these deaths worth the cost of having the Second Amendment? Because you kept throwing that quote from Charlie Kirk at us saying that, oh, certain deaths are worth the risk of us having the Second Amendment to defend ourselves. So are these two deaths worth that risk to you? Because that's
What we see today is that from the shooting in Minnesota and the Renee Good shooting, we have people doing unnecessary things and stupid things, and result they're going to lose their lives, and they did. We have people who thought they were privileged. We have people who thought they can do whatever they want, and then they figured out that they couldn't, and they got shot, and they're not here today, all because of their privilege. And also, too, you have Tim Walz, who's the Minnesota governor, gaslighting Minnesotans and other people to come there and protest to do something about it. All Tim Walz has to do is bring the National Guard there and make sure that the people are protected. But he's inciting and he wants this chaos because he wants the spotlight on the protesters and not the fraud. All this started because of the fraud from the Somalians. What he's trying to do is trying to distract everybody from not looking and digging more into the fraud that we all know Minnesota is known for. And this is the reason why Tim Walz is not protecting the people. This is the reason why he's egging on people to protest. It's because he wants this. He's tired of hearing people talk about the Somali fraud, the daycare fraud, the Medicaid fraud, the transportation fraud. He'd rather have people talking about the protesters. He wants people to get shot because more and more people are focusing on the protesting and the less and less people are focusing on the fraud. This is all a part of Tim Walz's plan. He does not want people to look more into the fraud. If he was a real governor, if he was a real leader, he would have been told people there's a different way you can fight this. You fight it with your vote. You can fight it on social media, but you don't ever put your life in danger. We have people now that we see are bringing their kids to these protests. And then we also find out that a lot of these protesters are paid anyway. So these are not even real people that are really, fighting against the cause. They're just people that's getting paid to do a job. How can you seriously, in your mind, sit here and protect people that are here illegally? And they're showing these type of people that are here illegally that they're going after rapists, murderers, sex traffickers, all these bad people that are here illegally. That's who they're targeting. They're not targeting just random people. See, they're trying to make it look like this ICE is just walking around punking everybody. They're not. They have a list of people that they know is here illegally that have all these criminal charges. All Minnesota has to do, California, Chicago, New York, all these places have to do is just give them the list. It's just help. Hey, it's okay to have protesters. We'll just have the National Guard there to protect the protesters so they don't do nothing stupid. What you see here is we have people doing stupid things, and then you want me to feel sorry for somebody who walked up and tried to confront an officer with a gun. There's no way you can spin this to make me feel sorry for that guy. Because he had a gun, he walked up to them, talking shit, and then he's not here on this earth. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter. Look, see, a lot of people say, well, he's an American citizen. Okay, cool. He has a right to hold that gun because he has a license. That's all fine and dandy. But he thought that he had privilege to have a gun and go up against federal agents. Why would you do that? because he thought he wasn't getting shot. The same thing that happened with Renee Good is happened to this guy, Alex Preddy, I believe that's his name. You thought that you weren't going to get shot, and you did. You thought you weren't going to get confronted, but you did. This is just showing everybody this is not a color problem. This is not a racism problem. This is a problem versus good and evil, smart and not smart. If you're smart, you stay home, you'll be alive. ICE, Border Patrol is not just coming around shooting everybody. They're trying to make it seem like they're just these lawless people that are coming around shooting everybody. But no, they're going after criminals and sending them back home because they're bad people.
Where you're at now, people are literally dying for your cause. So is the cause important enough for people to be dying? You've got to start asking yourself that. And also ask yourself why this isn't happening in any other state except Minnesota. And I can answer that for you. It's because our governors are not going out every single day telling us to go and resist ICE. Like I've said before, the quickest way to get ICE out of your city is to let ICE do their job unimpeded. And I promise you, they'll probably be gone in less than a week. Because look, it would be different if we were seeing videos of ICE agents actively going into places they were not asked to be in and knocking on people's doors and insisting that they let them in and insisting that they identify themselves and then seeing you resist in self-defense. That would be a different story. But that's not what we're seeing. What we're seeing is videos of ICE agents going on organized raids to specific locations and watching you guys follow them there and begin confrontations with them.
Exactly. If you guys just left them alone, ICE will be in and out within a couple weeks. The reason why ICE is still in Minnesota is because of the people protesting. That's all it is. If ICE did their job, Border Patrol did their job, you wouldn't even know that they were there. They're really supposed to be low key so they can get these people and send them back home. This is the reason why Obama was so successful. It's because these same cities and states that are giving Trump problems were helping, and they said nothing. That's the reason why Trump was able to do it so fast. And that's the reason why a lot of people didn't know that Obama was called a deporter-in-chief. Because these cities and states said, okay, cool, we're not going to let people protest. We're going to let you, here's the list, go get them. This comes down to leadership not wanting to help. You helped Obama, but you don't want to help because it's Trump deranged syndrome. They're going after unlawful people. And you guys are blowing up the spot and making them be there longer because you want to blow whistles, because you want to pump the horn. Like, you guys are seriously protecting, illegals. You're protecting people that done a lot of bad things to people here in America. You guys are protecting them for what? Like, what is the thinking behind it?
Video evidence that everyone is watching is not matching the narrative that you guys are trying to push. Because it is a lot to ask for somebody to put their life on the line for a cause. So you need to really evaluate if this is the cause that you want to put your life on the line for. Because you guys are not approaching protesting like a protest anymore. You guys are approaching it with a very warmongering mindset, almost as if you guys are going to war. But of course, you're going to feel like you're at war when your governor keeps getting on TV every day and saying that your state is at war with the federal government. But imagine thinking that somehow you're on the right side of history by going out and participating in something because your governor, a corrupt politician, has told you to. Your cause isn't very anti-government, anti-establishment when the government is backing you up. Tim Walz had any care and respect and love for the people in his state that he claims to represent, he would not be asking you to put your lives on the line for something that he is also simultaneously saying that he has the resources to fix. I just genuinely want to know the answers to these questions because I cannot understand why people can't see that.
Minnesota has a governor that wants the chaos. And they have also in Minneapolis a mayor that wants the chaos. The more chaos means less eyes on the real issue in Minnesota, which is the fraud. They want the chaos. They can solve this in a day. If they brought their National Guard out there, if they brought their guards or their police force or whatever out there to just keep the protesters at bay and let them do their job. That's all they have to do. If you want law and order, if you want to stop the chaos, this doesn't come down to the federal agents unless Trump does the Insurrection Act. But other than that, Tim Walz, all he has to do is just bring his people out and stop this. He wants the chaos. They want the eyes onto these protests and to these shootings instead of the real eyes being on what they're really there for, illegal immigrants, and high fraud. This is insane. You're supposed to be, I never see anything where the state, well, we see it, and that's not true. Why do we have the state governments fighting the federal government when the states get the money from the federal government? It makes no sense for me. This is what happens when you have bad leadership. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Go get our Patreon coming very soon. No Filter Border Show coming very soon. I appreciate you guys. Just gonna keep this thing rocking, man. Stay home. Stay home. Ain't no point of protesting. People losing their lives. And you can see it's not a black thing, it's not a brown thing. If you do something bad, you do something stupid, you're gonna get shot. That's just the world we living in today. It's all about doing the right thing and staying home. I'm out.